Hi, you guys. How are you? Hopefully everybody's doing great. I'm doing well. Nobody asked, mainly because this is a video. It's not live. But I finally started leveling some champions from my much ignored, very, very highly ignored Shadowkin faction. Not as ignored as the Sylvan Watchers, but nonetheless ignored. From my much ignored Shadowkin faction. And of course, the coolest epic in that faction, in my opinion, is Toragi the Froggy. And of course, the first thing I wanted to do, because I love like troll builds and cheese builds and stuff like that, the first thing I wanted to try with him is the solo Scarab build, because I just love stuff like that. So of course I had to do it. I know there's other videos on it, so just thought I'd show you guys my take on it, my build, the stats that worked for me, all of that good stuff. So let's talk about it. Why the heck does this work? First reason is the Scarab King, he has that big shell, right? But Turagi, his passive, when he's attacked, he has a 50% chance of placing a poison debuff, occurs once per hit, and poisons conveniently ignore that stupid shield, so this is a great form of damage to kill him with. And the Scarab King also hits a lot if you're not wearing a shield. So we've got a lot of chances to place the poison. So everything's cool there. Our poison, it's going to ignore the shield. Other reasons, he has an innate heal. This second ability, the Bog Blessing, places shield buff on his allies, and ally protect on his allies. So it's actually very good in a team setting. We're soloing the Scarab here ourselves, so we're not making use of this. And we're going to heal the champion by 25%. We booked up to what? Like another 15%? 40% of max HP. And places a reflex damage buff on for 3 turns. The heal actually increases for each poison debuff. We do have a provoke. Again, great in a team setting, waves and stuff. But not something we're really going to be using in the Scarab fight. And then attack is... A1... is also a decreased attack, so that's great because Scarab's hitting us a lot and we would like to decrease that attack and take less damage, because typically in this game when you die you lose, so we don't want to do that. The build for it, so keep in mind we've already got our Bog Blessing heal, and the build for this is Immortal and Regen. Now I will be the first to admit I do not have super good gear in either of these categories. You can see I've got some 5-star gloves. We got a good res roll, but the rest of this is kind of, you know, not amazing stats. You do need, I would say, very good gear overall, but the thing is, it's Doom Tower hard 100, right? Like if you're here, you beat a bunch of other, you know, very difficult stuff. You beat the hardest version of Baumel, which a lot of people think is like the hardest boss, you know, before they added all of the Cursed City and everything. So if you're here, you beat a lot of other stuff. I'm assuming you're pretty late game. You've got good gear. You have good chimps, etc., etc. If you are, oh my god, what am I clicking on? If you are on normal, that's no problem at all. We'll look at the normal stats. And I mean, obviously, if you are on normal, that's great because you can get away with much less. And Turagi is still a super cool and useful champ and totally worthy of you leveling. He's not like a... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not like a one-trick. Like, he's not just good in this fight. He's very good. I've been loving him in Cursed City rooms and all across the game. So it's definitely, it's not just like I know some people have leveled like Lady Annabelle for, oh, that's Baumel, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's not a champ that's only useful here. You can definitely get a lot of use out of him other places. So we will go back to the build. Well, actually, let's just go. I'll show you. I did pull up the stats that we've needed. Again, on hard, these are pretty late gamey, you know, difficult stats. Not super easy to hit. Gear should be pretty decent. Dude has 9,000 defense. You know, that's why we're going for the poison strategy, getting through that shield. 225 speed, so not overly fast for like a late game boss. But you do need like 350 resistance. You do need like 350 accuracy. So those would be the hard parts. And then again, don't feel bad if your gear isn't crazy good, if you're on normal, if you're trying to beat the lower floors of hard. It's really no big deal. I mean, like, for me, I mean, look, I'm getting 80 free accuracy. I'm getting 80 free res. I'm getting free defense. I'm getting free, you know, I'm getting free everything. So as you progress your account, as you're leveling things up, working on your Great Hall, getting better gear, building out your, you know, faction guardians. I'm sure I've got this max. Yeah, you know, I'm getting all this free stuff. So don't feel bad if you can't get there quite yet. You definitely will be able to easily someday, I promise you. Just work on your level and keep trying, farming better gear. And everything happens eventually in this game. Okay, so my stats per se, from what I know about this build, it's recommended that you have about 70k HP. So I do have more than that. It's recommended that you have about 2,500 HP. So, or I'm sorry, defense, not HP. That'd be horrifically low. 2,500 defense, which again, I have more than that. It's recommended that you have about 200 speed. I've got 218, so we're kind of excelling on all of those categories. I have 384 res. I think it said we needed 350, so that's good. You will notice I did fall short on the accuracy. I've only got 290, sad. Yeah, like I said, my gear's not amazing. Like this piece really isn't doing anything for me. The others are okay. You know, I'll show you just for full disclosure. Nothing crazy. But yeah, build is substantially lacking in accuracy, but I'll show you how I dealt with it. Because if you go in there with 290, you will not really hit any debuffs at all. Trust me, I tested it before putting out this video. So here is what I did. The thing is, usually, on the other videos I watch and, you know, posts I read about this build, all that good stuff, not clan boss. I'm doing great today. Okay, so typically, people will use a speed lead when they do this build because, again, the recommended speed is like 200. But I knew I had more than that, so I thought I could get away with an accuracy lead. And yes, that did work for me. So, you know, whichever stat you happen to be missing, maybe for you it's the res, maybe it's the accuracy, or maybe you are at that 200 speed and for you it's the speed. You can definitely put like Deacon Armstrong is going to be the one that most people have, you know, Razelvarg, Mortu Macabre, you know, just, and you know, it doesn't have to be crazy. Again, you know, the Deacon Armstrong 19%, that is completely fine. And then let me show you the Masteries also because I completely forgot. So let's backtrack on the Masteries. Alrighty. So again, the important and necessary masteries for this build are this section, and in particular, it's this one. Increases speed by 8 for every dead ally, stacks up to 24. So, you know, long and short of it, we want our team to die, and then we want to absorb their speed, and, you know, this is what keeps this build going, because you might have your speed lead, I want accuracy. You've got this, so you're actually quite a speedy little frog. You're healing yourself all the time, you know, and yeah. And then, you know, this stuff is optional. Obviously, I took the accuracy because I needed it. The other masteries this is keeping in mind that I want to use him as a tank supporting my team in hard content. And that's why I chose the masteries that I did. If you want to come down here, you know, get War Master, which is pretty standard, go for it. But again, I needed this accuracy, and I plan to use him in a lot of other places besides this fight. So that's the logic of my build. This is the important one. This is also important. Increases, your chance to place that poison or that decreased attack by 5%. So definitely get that one. And then, like I said, I was really struggling with that accuracy, so I went Eagle Eye. So there's my methodology there. And then again, we have regen set, so we're healing by 15% every turn. Other set is Immortal, so we're healing by 3% with that. Not much, but everything counts. And then again, our Bog Blessing, we are healing ourselves by a lot, depending on how many poisons we have on him. So, super cool build. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I just love stuff like this, so I was really looking forward to it. So, let's go in. And then, Turagi is the main component, and then you do have to have other people, even though they're going to die, because you want to get the boost from the Mastery, so you can't just, put him solo. Make sure you've got 4 champs who are going to die. Like I said, I went with accuracy lead. You could do, resistance, whatever. And also, I know Mithrala is the better accuracy lead. She's got 10 more than Drextar, but she was actually messing up this fight for me because she's so tanky and she has infinite resistance that she, wasn't dying. So I just, let's get Drextar in here and yeah, and then obviously everybody else is just here to clear the waves and get us through the fight as quickly as we can. So, we'll go ahead and see what's up. Waves are nothing crazy. The second wave is 3 Duchesses, but again, this is pretty late game content, so I'm hoping you have, some type of way to deal with these waves, because in comparison to most of the DT hard waves, this is pretty chill. They don't have a lot of HP. Oh, and I forgot to show you also. If you are on normal, very, very chill stats. 150, much slower here. You only need 125 resistance, 200 accuracy, so much, much more obtainable. Shoot for that if you are on that normal. This is, I'm using the Hell Hades stage tool, so this is normal 100, and then we already looked at the hard 100. Okay, so back to our lovely fight. The one thing I would say, oh, we're good. Okay. I was going to say, you kind of have to be a little careful. I watched it one time and I ally protected all my squishies, right? And then he killed them all. And then I tanked so much damage that it was actually I died. So that happened to me one time. I think it was just a super unlucky freak accident, but ideally should not be an issue. Everybody should die in one moment here, and then we'll have our full speed boost from the master. Oh, I guess I ally protected Drextar. That's okay. I'm sure we'll all survive. But you can already see we've got multiple poisons on. We've got a decreased attack on. We just healed ourselves to full. We're probably getting a teeny tiny bit of damage off of our reflect damage, but nothing crazy. And then you can see also that I have so much resistance. He's not stealing my buffs. He's not provoking me. So everything's going there. And again, it's raid. There's always a small % chance that you will get your buff stolen. You will get provoked. He placed decreased speed on me, but it's fine. It's not enough to, kill the run, at least with the gear that I had. So everything seemed to be going well. Other nice thing is that he's Spirit Affinity, so he's actually weak to Turagi. The other rotation of Scarab is Force, so yeah, I would definitely be curious to try it and see if it still works, I guess, because yeah, you will be against someone who's strong against you. And then again, these poisons are not 100% chance with the, Sniper Mastery? The extra 5% chance. It's only 55%, so, basically a coin flip if we're going to land that poison or not. So, nothing, if it was 100, this man would be dead, but Nothing like that. And then if he does steal your buff, the nice thing is that it's just a reflect damage, and we're just a tanky frog and we do no damage. So we're not gonna like kill ourselves on the reflect damage. So that's the other nice thing about the build, because there are some champions that you can use in this fight, you know, with like continuous heal, shield, and when you start getting those stolen, that's a big mess. So very simple, nothing crazy, you know, nobody's stealing like our block debuffs, and, you know, like in Hydra when he just steals every buff your team has, and it's a disaster. But I think that's all I have to say on the solo Turagi hard 100, or if you're on normal, that's great too. Just make it through that fight however you can. I will leave the rest of this running so you can, you know, continue watching this epic battle of Frog versus Scarab. I was gonna say Crab, but yeah, it's a Scarab. That's not the same thing. And thank you for watching, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or anything, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.